Hello, everyone. This is Mark Long with Carlson Software. We've got Nathan Cruz with us today. And today we're going to talk about Precision 3D Topo 2018, and we're going to go through some of the Google Earth surfaces and some of the new features inside the software that we haven't shown. So I do want to make sure that I allow people to come in, so I'm gonna start in just a few minutes. If you can hear me and you can see my screen on the GoToWebinar dialog panel, there's a little place where you can raise your hand. If you can hear me and see me, please raise your hand. Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, guys. So there, we got people able to see and hear, which is good. And I'll just clear everybody's name.
Yeah, and we should be finishing up a little bit early today. So at the end of this, I will open it up for questions. And if there's specific kinds of things that you'd like to be able to see, we should be able to address those at the end of the presentation.
So this is, well, again, I'm just going to wait a minute or two before I get started. I do like to let everybody know that this is an ongoing webinar series that's every Tuesday and Thursday. And so we're trying to show some new stuff here and there. You can always go to YouTube and type in Carlson Precision 3D. You can also go to our website and view movies on the product, and it's actually a really great way for you guys to just honestly kind of train, because we go through a bunch of different scenarios. So it's just something to think about. I think I'll go ahead and kind of get started now. We've about 3 minutes in. Looks like we've got about 12 folks here. So anyway, what I'm going to show you today is how to import Google Earth surfaces and different ways of handling this type of data, images and things like that. So just to start off with, I want to show you that if you don't even know the location of where you're at, you can basically come in here and type an address in. So if I was to say 1600 Roseville Road and say, let me see where I'm at here. RL, yeah.
I am not seeing your screen update.
Oh, you don't see that? You don't see the dialog box? Oh, it says it's paused. How about now?
There we go.
Okay, I apologize. Everybody could see me and they raised their hand, but then you can't see the dialog box. Let me go ahead and start from scratch here, fresh, and I'll show you guys what I was trying to do. Is if I go to the download Google Maps icon, okay, this will open up a dialog box where if you don't know or you don't have any CAD information or anything in particular about the location that you're looking for, but you know the physical address, you can type that in here. So in this case, what I was doing was 1600 Roseville Road. Raleigh, comma, NC. And I could set a buffer size here of let's just say 500. It's not enough to cover the site, but I will just go ahead and let it say that. Here's the projection that I'm going to use. Okay, and I'm also going to create a surface down here, a 10-foot by 10-foot grid. This is straight from Google. So really all you need to do is just make sure you set your buffer size, and then you can go ahead and import this. And the program will go out, it'll get the information from Google and it will populate, and you'll see what we get here in just a second. So there's our surface, boom, there's our image. So that easy, just by typing in the address. There's Roseville Road. Okay, this is 1600 Roseville Road. And that with just that easy, now we've got a surface model and we have an image overlay, Google image overlay. If I turn the textures on, we could come here, select our surface. Now we're looking at the surface model, and we could go ahead and show contours, and now you're seeing contours for that site. Very easy, quick and easy way to do some studies. Now had this been a little bit bigger area, we probably could have run our storm event and saw some drainage areas. I'm still going to show you, but this is kind of a small, 500 by 500 foot area. But if we can highlight our rational storm event, we can run the storm event, and it will come in here and basically give us our drainage areas of this site with our runoffs and things like that.
Now, what Mark is showing here is a feature of our hydro plugin, which is something that will take and use the surfaces that we produce in the Topo product itself. So this this is an example of what you can do with that Google surface once you get it in, aside from saving it out as a external Carlson tin file or a land XML surface file, and bringing it into your CAD software if you want to use it for conceptual design. But this is actually a fully editable and analyzable surface at this point.
Right. And so, we could actually, since we know geographically where we are, we could actually ping the NOAA website and let it download the data. And you can see it's very quick. It'll go through and processing the storm event, and it creates a storm event for us as well. So, that's just going right out to the NOAA and getting that.
Using the actual rainfall, right, for that area.
Yeah, the rainfall, it's got a name, partial duration and rainfall intensity. Yeah. So anyway, that's one way you could use this command, okay, just to get your area and so on. I'm going to go right click this. I'm going to delete this, and I'm just going to start again. Okay, so now we're back to where we don't have anything in our scenario. But this time, I'm going to bring in polylines from my CAD file. Okay, so I can import polylines from a file, and I need to make sure that my the projection that I'm bringing them in is US survey feet, which is good. Okay, and that's from the CAD, and then I can select OK. Well, now you can see here's my subdivision layout for that come right out of CAD. Okay. Well, now what I can do is come up here. Since the program now sees we have entities in here, it will get the limits of our entities here. So if I select on the Google Earth image again, I don't need to find a location, but you might want to set your buffer width. Okay, so let's just say we'll go 100 feet out past the property of this one. Okay, and we make sure our projection's good because this is in US survey feet. What we're bringing in from Google is going to be in US survey feet, and we'll get the surface again with a 10 by 10. I click OK. The program will go out and it'll grab that data, and you'll see what we get here momentarily.
Yeah, when we bring the data in from Google, it's always WGS84 lat longs with elevations in meters. So this is a really easy way to pull in that geographic data and overlay it with your CAD design data.
So here's the image, and we could select our polylines here, and we'll just turn them to 3D and then back to drape to surface. And now I have all those polylines basically draped to my surface model, so you can see the fall and how your lot layout is going to look inside of here. This 1600 Roseville Road is sitting here, and when we first did it, we got about this much space. Then we added in our boundary polyline. This is the actual boundary for this piece of property. The polylines inside are just what they are, and we're basically getting outside of our property with that buffer. You see? Pretty interesting, pretty cool stuff. The same thing can be said. I show this quite a bit with after I've designed this subdivision, and I can come in here now, and if I select this polyline here, I could come here and it highlights it here for me, and I could go to Topo commands and animate camera along this polyline. So if I come out here and I hit S, now I'm kind of just doing a little drive-by down the road. But it gives you a really good idea of how your lots and how your design is going to lay on the land, you know. So I do like that feature right there a lot. It's a great presentation tool when we're looking at this type of stuff. So I will just stop it. I'm not going to make y'all watch me drive all the way down that subdivision street. But you know, you can still, even if you wanted to zoom in here, you can still see some stuff like that. Okay. Now, if we wanted to, we could turn around again and we could run a watershed analysis. We've got our storm event for the 25-year storm. If we wanted to change those things from the hydrology standpoint of view, because now we're going to start introducing you guys to the surface model is the foundation of everything we do engineering wise. Okay, now we're going to start introducing folks to watershed analysis, culverts, pipe design, and things like that. This is all coming very soon. So it's a good time to start showing you a little bit of these things. So you can see there's that Google Earth surface I just downloaded, the rainfall data. Right there it is. Same name as I had just a second ago. And you can start looking at some of the hydro methods, the time of concentration. We can get into that in other movies, but I just really want to run this rainfall event so you guys can see it calculate the drainage areas and the time of concentration, you know, on this surface model that we just got from Google.
Now,
So,
one other thing that you could do with this surface is that you can bring in your design surface from CAD, if you do have a proposed design surface, and you can go ahead and merge it with this Google Maps surface, and then you can run another hydraulic analysis, right?
exactly. So what we're looking at here is pre. If I merge my design surface and any grading that I do, that's going to be my post. And so then you're going to see the flow of water take a turn and do some different things than we see it doing right this second right now. But you can see the drainage areas here. Now, just because I'm going to show you kind of what Nathan was just talking about, I have designed this subdivision, and the good thing about it is that I have it already kind of built. So I'll show you what it looks like. Load P3D file. Let me go up here. Let me go Roseville. So now we're going to let this scene load. This is a scene that I've already created. I think I've shown it in other movies. But what this is the exact same thing, looking at it from a post-construction type of deal. The roads have been merged in, and things like that are happening here. So as soon as it gets done doing its thing, I'll show you. I didn't really plan on showing you guys this today, but so I haven't tried it before I started it. We'll see. But there you go. Looks like the same subdivision I was just showing you just a second ago, but this time, you know, the surfaces are merged together. We could still do our drive down. You can also notice here that textures and things like that. You see asphalt is asphalt. Concrete is concrete. These are going to have runoff coefficients and curve numbers assigned to them. So if I click on here and I go and show you like the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet rational method, I could come in here and start showing you one that I built for them, where parks and cemeteries are going to have their own runoff coefficient and a curve number that you assign to them, so that when we start looking at runoff, we can do things accordingly. So, you know, that's just different little things that's coming along. You know, this will have a curve number, asphalt, concrete, yeah, whatever you have. If you have the footprint in here, you could say, okay, this is roofs. You know, roofs inclined, roofs flat, whatever. So there you go. But that's the surface when it's been merged. So we would end up with two, a pre and a post, for our calculation purposes. So there. Now, the next thing, I'm going to close out of this because I've been over here deleting and doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to close out of this real quick. And what I want to show you now is I'm going to open the program again, and I like to refresh its brain. And I'll come back in here and we'll do a little something different. This time I'm going to load a surface model that I already have. It's just called Subdivision 10. And I'm going to pop this open. And this is very typical of what you might see when you get a surface model. Okay, there's no textures or anything applied here, so that when you do start thinking about doing your storm drainage design, we've got to come up with, well, we need that weighted C or the weighted coefficient. So we've added ways in here for you to modify and add textures to the program, and it can be as simple as drag and drop, which I'll show you in a second, or you can come up here and look at our auto texture feature. Okay, with auto texture, we have to type in a slope tolerance. Well, we know our roads, 2%, 2.08% type of deal. If we want to use polylines, we could set this to true and just pick a polyline if we like, you know. But for this, I want to show you like a slope tolerance here so that we can come in here and kind of start picking areas that's asphalt based on some of the slope tolerances that we have here. And you can see the program goes down and it starts looking at anything within 2% tolerance. It will start to add in. Okay, so you see, and we can pick here, we could just let it be. We could just say, okay, I'm happy with that, apply. And now all of a sudden we have asphalt. So you see now when we start doing our drainage areas, you've got this sand or whatever ground, wood's good or whatever you want to call it, and now we have asphalt. We can also modify and adjust these, like places like this down here. Our road ends, but it thinks that that 2% tolerance is down here. So if I come here into subdivision and I'm going to show polylines and then turn it back off and then turn them back on because it's one of those things in the program, I can now highlight this polyline, and if I pick this vertex, I can right click it. Just all I have to do is kind of be over top of it. I can right click it and remove vertex. And I can start now to manipulate things that maybe just the computer didn't get right. Down here's a good example. The surface model is not very good right here. Okay, so if I pick a polyline here, I could kind of start moving things around a little bit and remove that vertex, and we can just start moving some stuff around and making it do what we want it to do. Might need to refresh textures or something, or I'm overlapping a surface or something. Something's going on. But you guys see the gist of what I'm trying to accomplish. There's something overlapping right there and left me a hole or something.
Yeah, just do a refresh textures. That'll clean that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got to find it. There we go. There we go. There you see. So now that's how you can easily manipulate and add in, you know, see, we didn't get this part, but that's all right. Now we can also just come up here and we could just draw a polyline. Okay, so I'm picking a point.
Or import a polyline from DXF or shape files.
Yep. Anything that's in CAD, you can bring it out here. And then you can come over here and we'll just go back to the Kentucky stuff. And we could say, hey, this is going to be parks and cemetery. Ta-da. Now it gets that, you know, it's that simple to start modifying. Now think about it. If you're looking down at a Google Earth image, now this site right here, I can't do it because it's not geo-referenced. But if you're looking down at a surface and you're trying and you just want to draw polylines that represent that kind of trace the outline of a building, you know, C for closed, just like your polyline commands. You could come here, select your material, industrial, whatever you want to call it, and boom, now you've got a different ground cover. You know, it's very easy, very simple to use. We've also got other features in here to help us with, let's just say, line work. Okay, maybe we this is what we got. We don't have center lines. We don't have anything in here to help us. What I'm going to do is, just so I can get rid of some of this mumbo jumbo here that I showed you, is I'm just going to delete all this stuff right quick. You just highlight it and right click, and I'm going to bring that surface back in here again. I don't want y'all seeing all that cluttery mess and stuff I drew. And so now here we come back to our subdivision 10. We don't have center lines. We don't have anything to help us. We've got a trick in here called extract polylines. This is super cool, because once we turn this on, we can zoom in here and we can select a polyline. Okay, you see I selected that polyline. That it basically, and I'm just going to hit create a polyline, and then I'll pick this guy over here and create a polyline. Okay, and I'm going to close this.
Oh, enter.
Enter. Sorry, should have entered. Should have entered. I canceled. Apply and pick again and create a polyline and enter. There we go. Now, what's cool about this is that this polyline was created from triangles, okay, that the program recognized on the surface model. But if you pick to look at this polyline, it's true arcs, curves, and tangent sections.
So we do a best fit horizontal alignment geometry on that for line segments and curves and spirals.
And so we can come in here. We can even change the stationing. Say the starting station for this center line is 1,000. That's what I typically start at here with North Carolina, you know. So we have that option, you know, and so now the starting station of this polyline is 1,000. We can also, you know, come in here by just selecting the polyline. We could actually look at the vertical profile, which is the green line, the profile. So you can see that, and it depends on which polyline you pick. I mean, I could come over here and select it this way. There's the vertical design for that road. Or I can select it here, or I could just come out here and I have to pick the polyline to see it. And then as I move up and down the road, I'm getting more information about station, elevation, delta Z, you know, all that type of stuff. So that's really about all I had intended to show you guys today. You know, this one's going to be short and kind of sweet to the point. So if you guys have any questions, or if there's anything else that you would like to see, I will be more than happy to try to show you. So I'm going to unmute everybody here. I think maybe I might be. I don't know if I can unmute the group at all. And so let me see. It don't want to let me unmute people unless I do it all manually. And even then, it's not really letting me. But anyway, I don't know why it's not, the webinar thing's not letting me unmute people. But if you have questions, or if you can type them in the suggestion in the questions area over on the dialog box, and I will try to show you, and we'll just give you a few minutes here to wrap your head around some of this stuff. And if you want to see something, I'll be more than happy to show you. See if we got any questions. Okay, well, it says here's one that has nothing yet. Nothing.
No, that was just at the beginning of the.
Oh, when nobody could see my stuff. Yeah. Well, you know, again, you can raise your hands, and I'll try to unmute you if you have anything that you would like to ask or see. I got an exclamation point from Mark O'Hare. Let's see if I can get him. And I got Michael Miller wanting to ask me a question. Oh, I got quite a few questions. Wish I knew how to get these people unmuted. Can you unmute them, Nathan? Because I can't do it from my end. Oh, wait a minute. Michael Miller, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you too. I think I got you unmuted.
Oh, good.
What question you got for me today, my friend?
I don't have a question.
Oh, all right. I see a little question thing popped up there. I didn't know. All right. Let me see. Let me try. Fred? Can you hear me, Fred?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you as well. What do you have a question?
No, that was when
just
I
from
raised
earlier.
My earlier.
Okay. All right. I'm unmuting
Okay, well,
everybody.
if you don't have any questions, or if nobody wants to see any point cloud stuff, so I know, we show that an awful lot, but we wanted to sort of focus on some of the other surface stuff, polyline things that we can also do. So if anybody would like to see any point cloud stuff or LiDAR aerial drone surveys, we could go through a couple of those pretty quick. But I think we're going to have another webinar on Thursday that actually covers bringing in the LiDAR tiles, surface creation, and editing as well.
I think I've got most everybody unmuted unless you've muted yourself. So if you have a question, now's a good time. All righty. Well, thank you guys for attending. And well, again, we got another one this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. So Eastern time. So I hope to see y'all again. Y'all take care.